Hey. All right, y'all. It's time to move into the arts and anime segment of the GameFi podcast. We talk everything gaming, arts, animation, music, esports, and film. I am Coach E. Got Jay Black over here on the ones and twos. Episode 2, GameFi podcast. We're here, y'all. Got any creatives out there? Hey, listen. Y'all need to check me out. Connect with me so we can talk about some of the projects that you guys are working on, you the guys and ladies, whatever's going on. We want the world to know, because again, it's all about education, workforce, and economic development. So we want to put you all out there. We want to make sure we're putting a spotlight on you as a follower of what we're doing, because I know a lot of y'all are working on some cool things out there. I have some guests that are working on some cool things that are going to be coming in on the next episode. So please make sure you stick around to check out that. But we're into the arts and animation segment of what's going on. You know, something really, really big happened recently when in terms of animation. Cartoon Network.
Man, that was huge.
Man, Cartoon Network is now part of Warner Brothers, man.
Down here, wasn't they?
Yeah, they're here. Cartoon Network is here in Atlanta. And now they're part of Warner Brothers, man.
End of an era. Me and my lady were talking about Cartoon Network. We were talking about the difference between Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. And I didn't even realize it at the time, but Cartoon Network was literally all cartoons. But Nickelodeon and Disney, you know, they got those like reality type shows. Like Cartoon Network, strictly cartoons, and
that's
they
it.
They had some great cartoons.
Because we talked about it a little bit last week, you know, the cartoons, they started to get a little bit edgy, a little bit more adult. So the people who started watching cartoons as little people, the cartoons grew with you, or the cartoons that were coming out got a little of age, and so started changing out some different things. What would it have been like one of your favorite cartoons on the Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network, I had a few. I liked Johnny Bravo.
Okay, yeah,
that was one of my favorites.
A lot of folks like Johnny Bravo.
What else did they have? I mean, of course, the Adult Swim, the Boondocks, and stuff like
that.
That was all on there. I'm trying to think of the cartoons that was on there.
It's
Tom
crazy.
And Jerry was cool.
Who?
Tom and Jerry.
I'll tell you what's funny. You know, if you are an avid cartoon watcher, then it's kind of like you forget whose network you were watching for particular cartoons, because, you know, think about what we're doing with streaming right now. You basically go to watch what you want to watch, or you can set it to kind of go to what you wanted to go to in your favorites or whatnot. Cartoons is almost like that. You just basically knew time of day, what was coming on, and you do it. So my old school, you know, my cartoons now, of course, you know, Tom and Jerry's and you know, that old Hanna-Barbera stuff, the Jetsons and all of that. Back when I grew up. Speed Racer. What you know about Speed Racer? You ever watch a cartoon called Tom Slick?
That sounds familiar.
What about George of the Jungle? Now, see, George of the Jungle. So it was. I remember.
He transcended.
And became a movie. Yeah. You know, it's crazy, a live action movie. But yeah. So you know, even the Flintstones became live action movie. But I remember growing up, you know, Scooby Doo and all that stuff. You know, it was a real big Hanna-Barbera type of thing that was happening in the mornings, but definitely on Sundays, man. They had it on lock. But then I watched She-Ra came out after He-Man, of course. But, you know, you had He-Man, you had G.I. Joe, you had your Transformers, but then you had your GoBots. People don't remember GoBots, and I want to say GoBots might have been Cartoon Network. Because
GoBots was like the Saturday morning. Was it Saturday?
It was
WB. What was WB? That one. See, I get confused.
See, Warner Brothers, right? Yeah. But that's the thing. You used to just watch them, and you watch all the cartoons, and you grow up with them. But you know, man. But then you had to see. Well, I don't want to say CW, but you know,
Dexter's Laboratory. I like Dexter's
Dexter's Laboratory was a good one. Then you had the Fairy Godparents. That was one.
Nickelodeon though.
Was it Nickelodeon?
Yeah, that was Nickelodeon.
See, and that's what I'm saying. You really don't know. If it was a good cartoon, you was gonna watch it. But then Ben 10 was something that, you know, when I was older.
Was that Disney or that was Cartoon Network?
I don't even know. That's the thing. These and you could switch back and forth, and you'd have some of the good ones that you was looking at. But you know, Powerpuff Girls, yeah, man. I think that was Cartoon Network, definitely.
Yeah, that was Cartoon Network.
And see, I'm trying to remember because like Cartoon Network, I want to say Space Ghost. And I think it was Cartoon Network was something before Cartoon Network.
All this high quality technology in our hands.
Oh yeah, we can look it up and see. We didn't even take the time, man.
We pay a lot of money for these phones.
Right. We got supercomputers right here. I mean, I got my whole laptop right here. And I have my whole laptop right here. And all I got to do is look it up. And
Ed and Eddie.
Ed and Eddie, man. Oh, man.
His next door.
Oh, man. Let's see. Cart.
Johnny Test. Pokemon was Cartoon Network?
Really?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
And they could have started out that way. But then Cartoon Network shows. Yeah, that's what you're probably looking at under the show.
Tunes.
Yeah, Ben 10 was Cartoon Network. Ben
it.
10 was Cartoon Network. Got Gumball, Adventure Time.
Cow and Chicken. I like Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken. What is that? Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Ed and Eddie got that. You got Total Drama. I don't even know what that one was. My kids probably know. Let's see. What else? Teen Titans Go. Man,
Titans, yeah.
Let me tell you, my kids love them some Teen Titans Go, man. Oh, my gosh. Cartoon Planet. Yeah, back to Ben 10. Rick and Morty. Man,
yeah,
we didn't even hit Rick and Morty. Looney Tunes had a run on the Cartoon Network. Definitely. Arthur.
Samurai Jack. Iron Weasel.
Samurai Jack. Oh, my gosh. Johnny Bravo. We talked about that one. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, you saw Cow and Chicken. What's this? Oh, Ninjago.
Dragon Ball Z was on there.
I was going to say, I think Dragon Ball Z was on there, and I think the revamped Scooby-Doo kind of got put up on there for a little bit. Tom and Jerry. Man, that is crazy. Oh, man, kind of looking back at all of these different ones. Oh, my gosh.
So I guess Warner Brothers did partner with Cartoon Network.
I think so. They probably
that's
just
Teen Titans was a Warner Brothers production.
Man,
Justice League.
And so even to go back to the some of the old school cartoons, but that was the thing you just couldn't figure out. I think you got on the Cartoon Network to watch your tunes, but you know, man, so what you had was like Disney XD, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. You had Boomerang, the Disney Channel, of course, had a bunch of stuff on there. So all of those different cartoon or kid networks was doing their thing. Old school Cartoon Network, and that was another thing. So they actually had a website as a part of Cartoon Network, and they actually had games that you could play. And so they would turn a lot of their cartoons into games that could be played on the Cartoon Network. So you had, Teen Titans had Battle Blitz, Night Marathon. You had Number Generator play that was done with, I think, the Ed and Eddie crew. It was crazy. But Steven Universe, Cartoon Network, man. Crystal Gem, my kids got me into that, and when I used to have a student named Diamond, or I have a student named Crystal or whatever, I just started singing the Crystal Gem song and like calling them different things. But that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool cartoon as well. But they used to do all kind of stuff. Oh man, they had a soccer game called the Toon Cup. Oh my goodness, They did. And so that bridging of animation into games was a big thing, because a lot of that animation was when animating, they started to go from just a regular pencil and paper and more computer generated and digital art and graphics. They could use those easily and turn those into video games. Those are the digital assets they could put into the games. And so it just matched up really, really well. And made it easy, and that's why I say it touches everything. Literally touches every single thing. You can go in so many different directions when you want to go into that. And so animation is a cool thing on the graphic design side that you can get into. But yeah, Ben 10 had a game. Oh man, it was cool. To see that. Yep, Space Ghost is a part of Cartoon Network, man. What was the one with the French fry thing?
Oh, that was Adult Swim, because he had
Adult Swim. Yeah, man.
I can't think of the name of it.
I can't think of the name of it too, but
the cup with
the straw in his head, man. It got weird. they used to go there, man. They used to go there for a minute. But pushing the envelope a little bit, and you get some of these movies and features, because you used to get the anime DVDs and you watch it, like Ghost in the Shell, what was it? Oh my gosh, a bunch of different A bunch of different ones, man. I can't even think of it, but this is kind of before. This was kind of before. What's the name of them thing? Power Rangers and stuff. There was a bunch of different ones before that. I go back. So, of course I watched Voltron, but then Transor Z was one. That was like one of those type of robots that would grow, do that kind of thing. But that was crazy. But I mean, again, in Atlanta, you are right there with your finger on the pulse of gaming, and definitely now we're talking about arts and animation. And when I talk about the Luminarium, that was a place where we actually got a chance to see where art again was brought forward using technology in a different way. Because one of the things they want to do with the Luminarium, they want to make an immersive experience. So they had rumblers in the floor. So as the music was going on, or like the wind was blowing or whatever, and you see petals going across, it was like a flower exhibit right now. Georgia O'Keeffe, I think is the name of the artist, but she did flowers in a way that it was never done before. And I can actually look it up real quick. We got the technology. But it was cool. They curated all female. She was a female artist. They curated all female music artists to add to it for the immersive experience. So as they were presenting and projecting across all of the walls, just imagine all the walls like here in the podcast studio, you just got live images. I say live images. These are still graphic images. They're paintings, and they were just moving them. Scale was changing on them all the time. They were folding in and out. It was cool, and then you had the music going on, so it really made you go a step deeper in interpreting those feelings. I'll tell you, I did, and I'm not gonna lie. My students were there, and I was watching my students that I've talked to about how all this stuff goes, and a lot of those songs. It was so powerful, man. I got misty up in there. I said, for them to experience what we have been talking about firsthand, oh man, that was just amazing to see that. And then we got a chance to talk about the experience, and then they were like, yeah, we could do this with some augmented reality, video games. And I start talking about geo mapping, because they have chairs and things in there, and so you actually could project actual rocks, and it could look like a forest in there on the furniture itself, because you can geo map it. And the technology is here for us to do it. Now, we were looking at some of the projectors. Now, those are some big boys. Those like, that wasn't the cheap projectors. Those were the 6-figure projectors. You need a few $1,000s, a few tens of $1,000s to get some of those projectors in there. So they got another exhibit that one of my students went to. It was an after dark exhibit. He said he was going to try it. He wanted to make sure what he saw wasn't going to be the same one. I was like, I don't think so. But I think it ended up not being it, because we made sure that he was going to do it. So, yep. Illuminarium, next generation immersive experience. So, again, you get a chance. Y'all need to go check that out, man. I mean, it's cool. I know you had said you went to watch the Super Bowl there. And, I don't think it was really built for that type of thing. But if it's like, some type of epic scene of like space exploration, or, you're in a forest, you're walking through. Oh, another cool thing was like the stuff that's projected on the floor, you actually get to kick it, you get to interact with it that way. And so it was, again, augmented reality. So you stepping on stuff, and it's actually moving out of the way. It's letting you do the different things. And then you're watching the animation. Yep. Georgia O'Keeffe, that's her name. Yep, that was her name. She did the petals and the flowers. Again, it was just real cool. It's a great space to go on a date. I will say that. Great space in there after dark too. So they have a bar, and they sell food. So like literally that is your whole date. And you get to watch and do that, and it's nice and intimate. It ain't crazy. It's big enough so it's not packed out like that. And so it's already built in with the music and stuff. So yeah, man, check out the Luminarium, man, here in Atlanta. We got some gems up in here, man. The aquarium, the Luminarium. They got a walking wonderland thing that's coming out. So they got the space. I think the After Dark is a space experience beyond Earth, and then they got the walking wonderland immersive adventure that's coming up soon too. So
did you get a chance over at Pullman Yards? They got the Stranger Things experience going on now.
I haven't
Van Gogh at first.
What?
So I hear that's a pretty cool experience.
Man, Pullman Yards got us going on now. Look, like I said, I'm from East Lake, so Pullman Yards is basically right behind Toomer Elementary, right in that Kirkwood area, right there. So it's already that. So it was,
they got. I was out there. They had the fan control football.
Right, I was gonna say that
Now
fan
they
control
got
football.
Fan control basketball coming up.
What?
So it's the same thing. So the floor is always gonna be LED.
Wow.
Fans get to choose like, if they shoot from here, it's worth this many points, or stuff like that.
Gamifying it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's that experience, man. So, and then at that point, it becomes that actually, in the literal sense of esports and electronic gaming, electronic sports. That's where it's going. I remember an episode of George Jetson, the Jetsons, and there were robot football players, that were on the field, and they were being controlled in the booth by a human coach, and they were running the different plays that they would be doing on there. But again, it's just the interface of technology in sports. That's what you're having. And again, you're doing it again because, again, it's an immersive experience for fan engagement. The fans can engage more. It's more sitting from your seat or what they call it, easy chair coaching. What they call it when you sit in the chair? Not Monday morning coach, but you know what I'm saying. I'm couch coaching. I'm a couch coach or a lazy boy coach. But now you can actually do that. You can vote on a play and do it. So yeah, that's happening. So more interactivity. I think people are wanting that, especially now that we're coming out of COVID. You want to get out there. You want to interact similarly to how you were doing in there, but now you're out amongst other folks. So, man, that's cool. And that's real cool. All right. So that'll end our segment on that. I think we did a good one. Check out the Luminarium, everybody.